your boy Bleeves.
This is not financial advice. My name is Bleeves. I'm always right.
Everybody listen up.
If you don't use NordVPN, you could get hacked, and that would suck.
Bada bing, ching, ching, big profit. Even when the market's sideways.
Don't forget to sign up for MEXC. The link's in the description down below. That helps me out tremendously.
This it's not financial advice.
OKX is offering incentives for you to sign up. Make sure that you sign up today in the description down below.
I'm always right. I'm always right. I'm always right.
Go to atlashealthline.com for all of your Delta 8 gummy needs and for all your Delta 8 inhalation needs, I want to say. I don't know. Something like that. It's in the description below.
It's been a long day. I mean a long week. Maybe a long year. So let's get something clear. We're gonna stock up on some party favors.
Guys, if you're outside of America, or if you're lucky enough to be using NordVPN, you could be signed up to BitGet for all of your futures trading needs. The link is in the description down below. Hey guys, if you're trading in America, you can use up-down trading through crypto.com. It's in the description down below. Sign up today and start trading.
Corporate riders on some third eye shit. Mr. Pine Cones come a long, long way. So everybody gets sideways. Sing it. I can't wait till Friday. Everybody's getting sideways. Pass the bottle back my way. Everybody's getting sideways.
I don't know why either. I have no idea. But guess what? It makes more people tune in. So you got to do what you got to do. So what is going on, everybody? My name is Bleeves. This is Bedtime with Bleeves. I'm going to tuck you in with all that sweet, sweet knowledge of everything that you need to know before we pass out and go to sleep and say, fuck this day. Also, I have a shorter intro coming. If we get enough likes on the thread tonight, there's going to be one. Anyway, if not, we're going to go with the long one again. Fuck that shit. But a lot of crazy stuff happening right now. I do think I think there's a Twitter space for Volt going on right now. Or maybe it's later. I don't know. Let's go into the market. Let's see what's going on in the entire space. Let's get a breakdown of what's happening, and then we'll go from there. And hopefully tonight all this shit's gonna work. So pre-markets fairly consistent across the board. Liquidity map, no real change because we haven't really had any movement. The overall market, not much change. Haven't really had any movement. This is the 7-day number. Terra Luna Classic, or as Nexa for Life says, the scam is the biggest gainer for the week at 16.85%. Because in a couple days we're about to achieve parity on Luna Classic, so that's going to be as Peter Griffin would say, frickin' sweet. So once that parity is achieved, that means that any Luna apps would now work through a portal. You can transfer it over to Luna Classic chain. Transfer it over to the Luna Classic chain. Then all dApps would be able to hit the goddamn like button on its way in. And did I do that right? Was that a great MacGuffin? Right. It'll achieve parity. So everything that could possibly work being transferred over would be able to be working on that chain. So possibility exists certainly that we get that going in the next little while. Otherwise, Stacks, Lido, Tron. I mean, basically it's everybody that you would expect. But after that, 0% to negative all the way down the line. So obviously, we got some work to do. And here we go. I did change the header for today. We were doing, I don't know, blah, 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 crypto update, something like that. But Binance has decided to fight back. not only has Binance decided to fight back, not only did that happen, but CZ has decided to tell every employee taking a page out of South Park. CZ Binance went to all of his employees and said, "Fuck you, dude. If you don't like it, get out." So he is putting the he is putting everybody in, especially because the leaks that are happening on their chats. And he says, if you don't want to be here, get out. Like, I don't want you here if you don't want to be here, which is actually very cool. Like, I mean, do that. Like let people know that, you know, if you do not want to be here, if you don't want to be part of whatever we've got going on, then just go away and get out. And that would be cool. And they don't like that. They don't like that. They want that cheddar. But if you don't like it, leave. CZ's message to employees after the SEC leaks chat logs. According to a translated copy of an internal memo, CZ Binance CEO says the leaked chat logs did a lot of damage. Now, there's a lot to this, by the way. And remember, March 27 of 2023, there was another CFTC filing against Binance in which a lot more chat logs, and some of those chat logs were transferred over to the SEC, by the way. Everything you say could end up in court or on the internet one day, he told employees, according to a translated memo seen in the O'Daily Planet Daily. The executive warns follows the SEC's recent leak of screenshotted chat logs between employees between the company's former compliance lead, Sam Lim, and head of business development, Alvin. During the conversation, the employees privately discussed dumping their BNB tokens before they tank, and glibly admitted to operating an unlicensed security exchange, much in line with the SEC's allegation against Binance. And this is what this by the way is what it looked like. And this was evidence from the SEC against Binance includes internal chat logs, first between Sam Lin and Alvin, head of BD. It says BNB sucka any day can go to zero. And then Samuel says, we are operating as a fucking unlicensed securities exchange in the USA, bro. So, yeah, that's not really good. And then here to continue, it says, can easily go to sense, haha, smart people, my ass, worse than Huobi price. This is them talking about it back in, what is this, 2018? Yeah. So, haha, everyone else take BNB now to fucking Brave. The smartest thing to hold now is USDT. I advise you, bro, if you take your bonus, lowest risk asset in crypto, straight away sell 50% to USD. Yeah, bro, that's what I told you when BNB 12, right? So yeah, look, what do we have here? We had a couple of fucking chads that work for Binance acting like a bunch of fucking chads, right? Who gives a shit? But anyway, just because they say it doesn't make, that's not how the law works, dummy. So if you're Gary Gensler, you know, somebody's got to be looking at you and going, dingbat, that's not against the law to have an opinion. And you could work and have an opinion and it still wouldn't matter. If you need to look any further than Gary Gensler and all of his Gary Gensler level shit that he did, where he called almost every token a commodity when he was teaching kids in school before he decided, no, there's security when he's the head of the SEC and he needs to get that fat paycheck. There's a big difference here, right? He's able to do it and it's okay, but these guys do it and they're crooks. No, that's not exactly the case. Now, there are plenty of allegations and there are plenty of receipts on actual crimes. But look, two bros broing down on bro chat, broing up the bro, that's not a thing, right? I mean, who gives a shit, right? Make sure you hit the like button on the way in, by the way. That's not a thing. That's ridiculous that they're trying to make this. These are not incriminating in any way, right? This is dumb. But hey, you know what? I'm here for it. So anyway, as you go down, in his letter to staff, CZ dismissed the chat log as a complaint made by two people. He said the ordeal did a lot of damage to the company's reputation and warned that the SEC would likely ask for the exchange chat history as part of its investigation. So again, it did a lot of damage, but it's a complaint between two people. Two people didn't like the price of BNB, so they started shitting on their employer. Two unhappy employees, or two employees who were lying about their happiness over their employer, are just, like two bros doing bro shit. Like, what's up, bro, Cephas? Nothing, bro. What do you think of BNB? Like, we control it, right? Yeah, bro. Like, it's totally it's awesome, right? No, it's bullshit, right? Because, like, fuck that. Like, we should have sold when it was $12, because, like, now it's pennies. You know what I mean? Like, we're fucking idiots, bro. And yeah, but at least we're getting a paycheck, right? That's pretty cool, right? Yeah, bro. Let's dump half. You know what I'm saying? Like, who's gonna stop us, bro? There's nothing wrong with that. That's just a bunch of dummies doing dumb guy shit. It's okay. You know what I mean? Like, that's Gary Gensler, because he knows he's about to be out. I really think that. I think that Gary Gensler is on his way out. He's getting fed up with it. He's so I don't know. I'm pretty sure that Liz Warren's going to probably try to nominate Darth Vader and be like, that's the guy for the job. And in the interview, he's going to be like, and she's going to be like, yeah, I like the way you breathe, daddy. I just get that feeling that there's going to be some Liz Warren level shit. But anyway, I do think that somebody else is coming, that Gary Gensler is probably getting fed up with all of it. So he's going to move on. Now, in the meantime, Coinbase CEO Brian Armstrong faces allegations of insider trading in 1.7 million stock sale. Now, to be clear, the way that stocks are bought and sold at Coinbase is they are set up automatically, and they're set up prior to far in advance of the date where they're actually sold. So you can't, Brian Armstrong can't, for example, here it is. There is speculation that Armstrong's stock sale was a pre-planned transaction made before Coinbase's stock plummeted from 63 per share to 44. A considerable decline of 30%. This has raised concerns among investors about the possibility of insider trading. However, executives at publicly traded companies like Coinbase since 2021 are often required to follow strict rules about when and how they can trade their company stock. So he probably scheduled this far in advance, and it just happened to coincide with the date, like after. This is the day before the lawsuit happened. And to be clear, like, I don't think that the lawsuit was meant to happen there. I think the lawsuit was meant to happen a little bit later on, but because of everything that Patrick McHenry and Glenn Thompson did with this new crypto bill, it's now forcing the SEC's hand, so that now he has to say everything's a security, guys. Listen, and Gary Gensler, he's got to do those when he's sitting by the fireplace, like, listen, guys, everything is a security. There's, this pencil. My pencil is a security because I expect to have profit. How do I make profit? By writing stuff. And how do I sell that stuff? I don't really. I just get a paycheck from the SEC, and that's good enough for me. So I am a security, and you can call me Secure Gary, and you can reach me at OnlyFans. I mean, wait a minute. I mean, you can contact me at the SEC. Whatever. I don't know how he says it. But he does these little fireside chats, like anything's getting warm around Gary Gensler. Are you fucking kidding me? So that's what happened. Now, in the meantime, Binance.us, which yesterday reported that it was going to remove 100 trading pairs, now says it's only removing 10 pairs in the wake of the lawsuit. Basically, they looked at Gary Gensler and pulled that South Park again. Oh, fuck you, Gary Gensler, and just went nuts. Like, unbelievable. It is absolutely unbelievable what is going on here. They did a complete 180. They're going to fight. Give me 1 second here. Ben Boy Bit. Ben Armstrong says that he has an inside source. I spoke to a Binance attorney, and they are earmarking $1 billion to fight the SEC. They could basically hire every major law firm at once to fight them. Just imagine Ripple has wiped the floor with them with only $150 million. And there's Gary Gensler for you. without makeup on. So, I mean, this is the way that it's getting, right? So the SEC is like, oh, we're going to get you. And then CZ Binance is like, we fucked up. Right. Brian Banks even left a long time ago because he didn't feel like he was really in charge. It's allegedly. Then we get to today, we get to all this stuff, and they're like, yeah, we're going to delist these pairs. And then he's like, you know what? Fuck these guys. Let's hire some attorneys and let's fight them every step of the way. And now the SEC is like, oh, yeah, bro, we'll see. And then Coinbase is like, yeah, we're not doing anything at all. You can like, and I feel like, if you know Lloyd Dobler, I feel like it's the end of Say Anything. And like Brian Armstrong is holding up a sign above his head made out of cardboard that says SMDGG. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like they don't care. And I think that that's going to cause crypto to start rallying, which is going to result in a whole lot more activity for the SEC. They'll be out to get everybody. I expect any day now we'll probably see something from crypto.com getting a Wells notice of an intent to sue. There's just going to be so much. There's just going to be so much stuff going on in like rapid succession. And to be clear, also, I do think Swan Exchange, Swan Bitcoin is dead. So just so you guys know, if you happen to have, and look, nobody, there's not very many people who are using Swan Bitcoin anymore, but it is a centralized exchange. Get your money off of it, and get your money off of it because this shit is FTX level crazy stuff. Now, it's not an American company. It's not traded in America, but there is going to be, all of this kind of stuff. Okay. So, this is, if you got anything on Swan, get it off of Swan. Don't get off on a Swan. You know what I'm talking about. Unless it's Black Swan. The one girl, right? Amidala. So anyway, Binance US has now backed out and said, you know what? We're not doing it. Now, let's get on to price action. Ethereum price makes an early rebound as investors reallocate capital. What's next? So we're going to talk about that. We're going to get into some chart action. We're going to see what is going on in the broader crypto market. Down 500 million so far since 7 p.m. But generally speaking, on this, we minted a nice yellow candle yesterday. So we're back in the positive. It's going to take a little build up to get back to any semblance of where we were before, but the news continues to be at least relatively positive, and everybody's starting to fight back. That's when you're going to see some kind of surprise rally happen. Now, that's not now, and I do want to point out, normally I tell you that what we want to do when we're trading is we want to do it contrary to what the sentiment is in the market. The sentiment right now is one of fear. So I think that we're going to see a spike. People are going to be like, you know what? We actually kind of rallied here a little bit, and it's looking pretty good. Like it's not bad, bruh. And I think that we might see some continued rise as this all starts to transpire. And news along the way will probably continue to pump it just a little bit. Now it's going to be tepid, and it's going to be difficult to make any sort of reasonable gains because, again, the liquidity pool hasn't changed. Nothing has really fundamentally changed about where we are, except that maybe there would be some extra money on the sidelines that would be coming in. But with the lawsuits happening, the smart money would probably stay sidelined. So what we mostly are going to have, most probably, is going to be some spikes. We'll have a run. We'll get a little bit up here, and then it'll dump. So, and I think that that's what we're going to end up seeing. Bitcoin is trending in this channel, sitting like we're just basically oscillating at this point in the downside or in the heartline. Ethereum, kind of the same thing. It's just kind of moving upwards in this channel, and that means that it's going to break to the downside. That's when you're an upward facing parallel channel, then that means that we have a problem. So wait to see for this if this problem actually manifests itself and develops and starts to play out. Now, we did see Pepe have a little reversal today, but it was tiny. It wasn't really significant. It was a little bit of a rebound. Here's the problem. Problem is you're just doing it off the heart line again. I mean, that's where we are right now on almost everything of consequence. We're at this heart line. Now, if Pepe makes a bounce, it's going to come down here to 1052. Maybe just based on this, it's going to bounce. Again, we're going to have a moment where it bounces back up in the 1150 area, but that's 10%. That's not worth the risk that's associated with this kind of play. So your biggest, and this is every crypto, by the way, this is not just this, but the biggest example of what you should be looking for is to make this play right here. Find your levels on almost every crypto. And by the way, Bitcoin kind of looks the same. If you start going down lists here, and I start making a parallel channel right here for Floki, same thing. Floki actually, 270 million market cap. Floki actually looks like it's primed for a move. So if I were, okay, so I take that back on Floki. Floki probably is worth a play right now. You would look to maybe get into this right here, but this is a resistance level. So it's most likely going to bounce like it did right here. So it bounced strongly. And this bounce was from, 26 up to 27, 60. So 5%. That's not huge, but it is a bounce. So I would think that if it comes back down here, if it does, then I would definitely want to make that play. But otherwise, generally speaking, the market is not like that. Now let's get into the meme space. Bloom is up now 34% on the day, a little bit of a recovery off of that downward pressure that it had. Still running, by the way. If you listen to me on WAGMI Games, you're sitting pretty happy today. It's up. I mean, what is it now? 100, and from that bottom when it really got started, it's up now 137%. And if we come back here to if you happen to have bought in on the bottom, then where is that? That's right here. That's about 140%. So yeah, we were close to the bottom, but continuing to have good news coming in. Somebody just bought 21 ETH worth of WAGMI tokens. So it's starting, whatever it is that's going to happen with WAGMI, it is just starting, but it's starting. So this is one of those moments where, and by the way, Rodney sold, just so you guys know, Rodney sold his WAGMI tokens. So, skeet. Make sure you remind him every single time that he sold. He probably bought Pepe with it. You know what I mean? He probably bought the top of Pepe. Rodney, I hope you're in here. God damn it. By the way, if you are in here, make sure you hit the like button. Helps me out, gets me trending in the YouTube algorithm, and I appreciate that very much. RFD had a little bit of a bounce to about 10% today. Still insignificant. Like, we're not breaking out of the channel that we're in, and that's the important part. Until you break out of this channel, then you are just an also ran. Didn't go all the way up here, starting to now, by the way, that's a bad sign, because what you would like to see is that if it's going to fail, then you would like to see the bottom of that top where it is right there become the spot where you fail. So 1550 is the spot where you really want to see it to at least show some strength and still some solid trading, but you're not getting that, and you got a reversal. Could be just circumstances, but I now it looks kind of sideways and down to me. Pepe, again, 1082 doing its thing, still in the middle of the channel. So I would not touch it until it's on one side or another. Mong dead. Mong dead. We're going to go ahead and just remove that over here. We're going to pretend like that's Crypto Bitlord's face tattoo, and we're just going to have it removed. Oh, he's not going to do that, by the way. Shib 7915, Cult 3453, Ben 7579. I don't know if Ben's going to have a pump, by the way. I think that there's some stuff coming. I keep hearing about stuff coming, but I haven't seen it yet. I mean, it's moving upwards, but I mean, let's be fair here. And it does, by the way, kind of look like this. So it could have a break moment, but it'll be a lower break moment. I think we've already established here that most probably at best it will come up to this area. So if we're continuing to trend in this pattern and we get a positive move, then I would expect that 81 or 82 is probably going to be the top. Now, if it breaks through that, I would be surprised. And if it comes up, then it's going to probably reject right here, at least at that 8,800 line. So just make sure that if you're playing Ben like I am, then just make sure that you're watching each one of these levels. PSYOP looks like it's moving upwards a little bit in the last 2 hours. Had a little bit of sell down, and now all of a sudden there's a bunch of buy pressure on PSYOP. So we'll see how that plays out over the next little while. Volt is now down to 49.74. Again, experiencing more lows. 49 has become the new 50. So I guess it's time to say that we found another floor, but without something to pump it, then we're going to descend through that floor. So let's remove that one. And let's, by the way, you're at the bottom of this. So it's possible that it pumps up to 52. That's about a 5% pump, I want to say. From here to here is about 5.5%. So this is not tradable at this point, right? This is where, if you want to buy and you want a long-term hodl, it's still going to be a great play long-term. It's just the market conditions are not favorable to something like Volt right now. But this area, I really want to say it looks like a great area where you would want to buy. But that's all I could say. It's my opinion. MMAI lost a little bit today, down 1%. Loyal down 7% to 61.76. Still just kind of bleeding off of all the news. Grumpy Cat, I was in a podcast with Grumpy Cat today. We had a nice discussion. Didn't always agree on everything, but it's okay because they're allowed to be wrong. And we talked about Binance. We talked about Coinbase. We talked about the broader markets and stuff like that, and came to an agreement. I'm pretty sure everybody was like, yeah, believes it's totally 100% right, and everybody else is wrong. So, yeah. I don't know. Not really, but you know what I mean. I think that, generally speaking, we would like to, Tim Tanner would like to give the benefit of doubt to Binance a little more than I would. And he doesn't think that Coinbase is innocent. And I didn't say that I thought he was innocent. I just said that there hasn't been any proof that they've committed a crime. It's just an allegation at this point. And it is an allegation against Binance too. But with Binance, they brought receipts and they showed the chat transcripts and stuff like that. And they showed that CZ Binance was in the chat, in a lot of these chats when some of this shit was happening. So there's a lot going on to unpack with Binance that you don't have to unpack with Coinbase. So I think that there's a differing sort of scenario there. And, I don't care if it's a U.S. company or not. I also don't think that Brian Armstrong is a good guy. He's a billionaire. CZ's a billionaire. I just don't think that it's possible for them to be good people. You have to fire people. You have to hire people. You have to make bad decisions on the livelihood of a lot of different people. And you have to answer, and to run a company, especially a publicly traded company, you have to answer to stockholders, and stockholders are pieces of shit. And if you're a stockholder, I'm talking to you. You want your profit margin. You want things to be a certain way. And that comes at the expense of humans. And humans suffer because of the decisions that you have to make as a business. So actually, Marky, we were about to go back to RFD in just a second. So yeah, we're going to talk about it. RBE's at 22.43. Somebody asked me about this. I said, let's cover it a little bit. If it pumps down here, dumps down here, then it's going to probably bounce off of 17.91. And if you guys remember this morning, I said that would happen, and kiss my ass if it didn't. And that means that what's this percentage spike? So if you listen to me when we did this, then you made a 25% nut off of this. So good for you if you paid attention in class. If you didn't, you missed out yet again. Now for RFD, so definitely worth talking about it. And thank you for the 14. I think that's Australian. So thank you for the 14.99 Australian. So if you're busted out in RFD, what I'm recommending at this point is follow the fact that at varying points here in this descending channel, you've had opportunities, right? To make money. Now, if you're at a loss, it's okay to be at a loss, accept your loss, and just be able to move on with what you're doing. And what I mean by that is, if you're in this position right now, I would not recommend selling. I think that based on the structure and the way this is playing out, I would think that you probably have, it's going to reverse. I think the market conditions are going to be favorable and you might get a chance to pump just a little bit, but here's going to be about 1,500 is going to be the top of where I think you can get on just a normal average sort of pump. Now, if that is the case, and if I'm right about that, then what I would do is, and it's right there, I would sell the farm, get myself completely out of RFD. And the reason that I would do that is because I'm trying to win. And it's not about not liking the product. If you like the product, that's fine. But the most likely scenario would be a rejection here, or if the market goes good, then it'd be a rejection right here. Now, if it rejects, then it's going to come back down and it's going to start testing this zero. And this is going to be the spot where you want to accumulate again, because even if that's, even if this is not great and you're on the exit plan right now, then you're going to come down here and you're going to be testing these lows again. And when you're testing these lows, these are opportunities for you to come back in and try to make some of your money back. So you buy in when it gets down into this sort of region right here. And it doesn't matter what the price is at this point. What matters is you getting your money back, right? So then you buy it here and then you sell it when it comes back up here. So if it comes back up here, and just to give you an idea, if you were to buy in, if it took a while, if this played out the way I'm saying right here, you'd be buying in at, let's call it 83, 8,400, right? Just humor me on this. If that happened, then you'd be buying in at this kind of level. And if you bought in at this kind of level and then it pumped one more time to this kind of level, that'd be about a 40% lift on whatever your investment is. So if you're able to get something out at this spot and then you're able to ape back in here, you're going to double the amount that you have, because this right here is about 14. This right here is about 8. So you're going to be able to almost double your bag. Now, if you've almost doubled your bag from, say, 10 billion to 20 billion, when it moves up again, you're going to be making even more. That's the way that it works. I mean, that's sometimes you got to just take a loss and realize you fucked up. You made a bad investment. And it's not. And by the way, I don't mean that RFD is a bad investment, because it's on the decline right now, because everything's on the decline right now in this space. There's no volume coming in. There's only less than 1 million in trading volume. And by the way, I do think, and I said this before, I do think that Pepe and I do think that Ben survived the market. So let me come over here to Pepe. Pepe has 1.2 million in trading volume. Ben, 755,000 in trading volume. So when I'm saying this, I'm not saying that, not understanding. RFD still has a chance. The market conditions can turn favorable, and we might be able to see some kind of pump come out of it. So again, I'm not shitting on it, and I never have, by the way. The only thing I ever said was get out when it was up here, because if you're not if you're not exiting, you are somebody else's exit liquidity. You allow everybody else to be your exit liquidity. That's how we win, right? That is how it's done. So that's what I would say on RFD. Now, it's possible that none of the shit that I say is going to work. It is possible that, I mean, look, the trend lines and the patterns, by the time you recognize them, most of the time, they don't continue. Now, long term, they will continue. Like this right here, this 1,500 line that I'm pointing out right now. You're going to get the shit rejected out of you for that spot, right? There's going to be a lot of rejection at that spot because this has been over here was a level of support. On the way back down, it bounced back just a little bit off of it. It was a level of resistance used as support a little bit later on for a short period of time. But over here, so what you saw on this one, as we zoom in right here, is you see that it came up here. There was resistance at 1,500. It came back down. Then it busted through. Then it came back down, and it used this as resistance support twice to bounce up into this 1800 realm. Then it came back down and it sat. Now it was a little bit over, but really it's 1500. And then it came back down and then it wicked down to this area. And then it came back up and it used it as resistance. And then it hovered around. It came back a couple hours later as resistance. It came all the way back down, almost hitting this line again, went back up, turned into resistance again, tried to regroup, hit resistance again. And by the fifth time, it's done. It's not breaking through, right? So what did it do? Everybody gave up and everybody said, well, fuck this, time to move on. And they started moving on. Then it came back down here. And when it came down again to this descending line in this channel. And then what happened? Then it broke to the upside again. And if it broke here and you got in here and you went to here, you're up 23% on that play. See, you don't like it's you're in a big channel with RFD because of the trading volume. And if the volume picks, and there's no guarantee, by the way, that the volume is going to pick up. This is purely speculative. But if the volume picks back up and the meme coin markets start to pump just a little bit in the overnights or tomorrow as we get into Friday and the weekend, then it is possible that RFD has a breakout. And that breakout, by the way, I would wait for it to come down here, but that breakout again goes up as high as 1500. Now, if it has a real breakout, it could go as high as 2000, and that's going to be the support line for the top over here. So those are your levels on RFD. That's the best that I can give you. That's what I think it looks like, and you appreciate it. I appreciate it. Thank you so much for that. Also, Robert, $10 bomb. Thank you so much. Luna Classic, I think, is so Luna Classic very complicated, right? The death was over. The death might be a little over exaggerated. We've been down here for a little bit of time, so it's becoming difficult to break back out, and it's going to be difficult to have a breakout on Luna Classic. The bad part and the most difficult part is once you've capitulated to a zone, now you have to go fight your way through that zone again, right? So 10,800 up here. Remember, we came over here a couple days ago, and what happened? We got summarily rejected by this entire area, right? And it's this little spot right here that represents the biggest point of resistance, right? Boom, 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 right about there. And then you look over here and you see boom, rejected, boom, rejected, boom, rejected. Again, I just told you about 5 times you got rejected, and that's when it's going to come down to a lower level, right? So we got rejected here, 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 here. If it rejects one more time, even with good news, it's coming back down, and we're probably going to be testing these lows again, and it might go lower than what it is right now. However, if some good news comes out of it and we start to really talk about the only thing that matters, by the way, for the safety of the project and for the betterment of the project, then what matters is going to be parity and getting dApps and getting a real functioning blockchain up and working. But what's going to matter to the investors that are going to want to put their money in it on a high risk speculative sort of let's moon this bitch baby sort of thing is repegging to the USTC. That's the only thing that's really going to matter, that's going to move the price immediately. And the reason for that is because there's going to be a burn mechanism built into both of them, and they will both burn some of their tokens. And by the way, if you look right here, you'll see that there's a sudden pairing on Luna Classic and USTC that did not exist before. You can see here, USTC was coming down. It was kind of marching to its own drum. Luna Classic, on the other hand, was not. Luna Classic kind of marched to a different beat. So now they're marching to the same beat. They're kind of in lockstep with each other. And that's a sign of the parity in the trading pair. So something has changed in the dynamic of what's going on over there. And I think that, again, we'll get something coming out, I would imagine, pretty soon once the parity is done, which I think was June 16th, I want to say, maybe June 14th. But once that parity is announced, then that means that the next step and the next good opportunity is going to be to the repeg. And if that's the case, then you're talking stuff that investors are going to be like, oh shit. Because remember, in all of the burns that we've had for lung, we've burned 0.1%. we're going to be doing this shit for 50 years at this pace. So what we need is that thing put back together and then the burns to start up. And I mean, start big. So if that happens and we start burning significantly more than we've ever seen burn from Binance, significantly more than we've ever seen from Luna Classic Burn or Lunk Burn or whatever these different places are called, all of the donations that have been made for burn, which is stupid, by the way. When we see all of that, when we see all the people who were doing that created the staking platforms and the funds and stuff like that, if they're all burning the tokens that they get as a reward, I mean, thank you, but that's stupid too. So the best thing to do right now is just have a little patience with this process. Let that repeg happen. And when the repeg happens, by the way, here's when the repeg happens and we really start to see, oh my God, there's a significant burn. When you get that feeling right there, you're going to bust through this level. You're going to bust through this level. You're going to bust through this level, and you're going to start trying a new all-time high. It'll happen so fast that you'll be like, holy shit, because it will matter big time when that happens. And remember, this is a big time Asian crypto, and the Asian communities will come together rapidly and push this thing up and probably drop a zero. You'll probably drop a zero just because they're so excited about the revival. And remember, the revival of this is going to, it'll be legendary. So if it happens at a good uptick in the market, it could get even bigger. But I mean, we got to break this right here. There is no resistance points, by the way. Once you break the all-time high, you're in price discovery. And once you get into price discovery, the most likely scenario is you get up to 1,000 and you drop the zero. So it would be interesting to see a 10x from where we are right now, just to get it started, and then to really start seeing a burn on some of the tokens, and then the value of that starts to double itself. When the number of tokens, if you could just burn down the number of tokens in the course of a year or two after that move, that's another 10x from where you were. So that 10x that you're on from a run from, say, today until dropping a zero, that's a 10x run. And then losing half of the tokens through burns, that puts you at double where you were before. So that's a 20x from that position. So it's science, bro. By the way, I hope you guys saw that silly, crazy, that silly, crazy guy the other day that was what's going on with you, bro? Because he was absolutely hilarious. And in fact, I think that everybody deserves to see that dude. So let's see if we can't do that real quick before we get off here. Before we leave here. Did I say get off, bro? There we go. All right. So it's very minimal, by the way. So we should be okay with this. Yeah, it looks like it's just going to take a second here. But this guy is my new spirit animal. Just so you guys know, this guy is hilarious. My new spirit animal. And are you ready? Here we go.
I need you to be honest with me.
I am being honest with you, dude.
This is gonna go a lot easier if you're honest.
And I will, yeah, dude.
Yeah. What are you on right now, man?
Cloud9. What? Cloud9.
No, what are you on right now?
One.
You gotta be honest.
I'm on one, dude. You know what I'm saying?
Stop fucking around. What are you on right now, man?
TikTok. What? Instagram. All of them. I'm on all of them.
I'm not talking about your ads. Drugs.
Sure, if you got some. Yeah, I'm down. You guys partying? Yeah,
Sir,
dude.
Step out of the car.
That's my new spirit animal. So, all right, guys, that's it. I will see you guys for breakfast in the morning. I'm time to go walk the dog.
We chat online for like 2 hours every day, so I guess you could say things are getting pretty serious.
All right, and I've got some some new intros and stuff like that I'll be introducing tomorrow. So until then, we'll see you. Thank you for tuning in, guys. Hope you had a good time. Hope you enjoyed the show. Remember to sign up for MEXC, BitGet, and NordVPN down in the links below.
Ways to get paid.